Hey everybody! Welcome to Gospel Piano Lessons for Beginners. This is Year 2, Lesson 24, and tonight we are going to finish up working in the key of D. We're going to be doing 2 brand new songs, as well as talking about diminished chords and suspended chords. So if you've always wondered what those are, tonight is the night. We're going to be doing 2 songs tonight. We're going to be doing a traditional song, Glory, Glory, Hallelujah. And we're going to be adding in some walk downs and walk ups and all those things that we've learned so far, as well as putting in our diminished chords. And I'm going to do a little throwback to Year 1. We're going to look at a little bit of walking bass line. We haven't done that in a while, so we're going to spice it up. And we're also going to be doing a song called Wait on the Lord, and this is a more contemporary song by James Wilson. I'm trying to sneak in some contemporary for you guys because I know a few people have been asking, so we've got one of each tonight. If you haven't done so yet, be sure to subscribe, like this video. It's going to help it to get further in the YouTube land and find more people who are looking for music lessons just like this. If you're looking for our PDF for tonight, I'm just going to quickly go through the new system. As many of you know, we have changed over where we have our downloads and things to make it easier for everybody. So if you go to thegospelmethod.com, this is our homepage here. If you go to free resources, this is where you can find all the downloads, and you can see I've added in a few things. Excuse me. We've got every lesson from Year 1, Lesson 1, all the way. This is tonight here, Year 2, Lesson 24. And then this week I also added in some new resources. I added in the Musician's Toolkit, an updated version of that. That has all, it's kind of like the cheat sheet from Year 1. It has how to make a major and minor chord, how to do walk-ups, walk-downs, walking bass lines, turnarounds, loops, all the things we're going to be talking about tonight in the key of C. It also talks about slow left-hand patterns, the ones that we went over in Year 1, and it has all the charts in there. So that's the Musician's Toolkit. That's really handy. I also added in some indexes this week, so I know some of you are asking, is there some sort of a library or index that we can see? And these ones for Year 1, Year 2, so you can see every lesson, all the topics that are covered in each lesson, as well as all of the songs. So you can go through, I believe we have over 100 songs now in the free resource library. So be sure to check that out. It's totally free. You just add it to your cart. And then once you do that, it'll ask you to create a free membership with your email, Facebook, or Google account. All right, so that's the new system. Of course, we still have our Facebook group, and that's just called The Gospel Method, and that's where you can upload videos and get feedback. I haven't seen anybody being brave lately, so just remember you can always post videos up on there, and I can give you some feedback, and others will cheer you on. Everyone's very supportive in that group. And then also we have a Facebook page where you can get reminders and little tips, and we're going to be adding in some videos separate from the YouTube channel on that Facebook page soon. We're working on that for you guys as well. All right, so enough about that. Let's get to work. Tonight we are doing the key of D, like I mentioned. So we're going to jump right in. Diminished chords in the key of D. And we're going to look at some of the common ones that you might see in the key of D. The most common one being G sharp diminished. Now, we know major chords and minor chords have their own pattern, which you can see in the Musician's Toolkit, or back in Year 1. We have multiple lessons on that. And the diminished chord also has a formula. So if you follow this formula, you can make any diminished chord on the piano. And I will start with G sharp. That's going to be the one we work on a lot tonight. And to make any diminished chord on the piano, all you need to do is go up 3 half steps at a time. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then optional you can do it again, 1, 2, 3. That makes a diminished 7 chord, for those of you who are into your theory. Okay, but that diminished is just a group of 3 half steps stacked on top of each other, and you end up with G sharp, B, D, and F sharp. Okay, so we're going to be using that one a lot tonight. And when we get down into the song, I will show you how we can use our inversions so that we're not, playing down here and then jumping all the way up here. We'll talk about the best order to put those notes so that it's comfortable within the song, okay? But that's our diminished chord example. And again, if you need more help on diminished chords, grab one of those indexes that I just showed you, and you can easily go through and see all the different lessons. We have diminished chords in a bunch of different keys, as well as the key of C. Now we're quickly going to go through sus chords in the key of D. So this is suspended chords. People call them sus chords, and there are 3 different kinds of sus chords. When what it does is it takes the third of the chord and it's just going to replace it, okay? And we'll do some examples together. So we have sus2 and sus4 and sus. Okay, now technically there's only 2 kinds, but that's the 3 ways you will see it written down most commonly in a chord chart. Okay, so you can see here we have sus2, sus4, and then just regular sus. Okay, so we're going to start with a sus2 chord, and all we're going to do with the sus2 is we're going to play the second note of our scale instead of the third note. So for example, let's do an easy one first. We'll do C major. Most of you are familiar with that. So C major, we have the first note, second, third, fourth, fifth of our C major scale. Okay, so it's all C major, has all white notes. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our third note of our scale and we're going to replace it with the second note. And we call that a sus chord. Okay, so C sus2 because we've taken the second note of the scale and added it in. Okay, so that would be a C sus2. And then if we wanted to make a C sus4, all we're going to do is take our third note and replace it with the fourth note of the scale. So we would end up with C, F, and G. Okay, now in this case it's really easy because C major is all white notes, so we didn't have to figure out which, is it F sharp or F, right? It just follows along. But there is a way to do it if you don't know the scale. So for example, let's take a look at the A sus2 chord, because that's the one we're going to be using in one of our songs tonight, A sus. And so let's say we know A major is A, C sharp, and E. A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. That's our major chord formula, is root, 4 half steps, 3 half steps. We end up with a major chord. But let's say you don't know your A major scale, because if you're following with this series, we haven't done the A major yet. So the other way you can find it is if you're taking your chord in root position, take your middle note, the third, okay, and you're going to go left 2. That'll give you your sus2. Okay, if you go left 2, that gives you your second note of the scale. Okay, so A sus2 would be A, B, and D. Now if you wanted to make A sus4, again, let's imagine you don't know your A major scale. All you're going to do is take your middle note in root position and just move it 1 to the right, like that. Okay, now if you forget that formula, I know I give you guys a lot of formulas, so that way you can apply it to any key. But the one trick I use is if I can remember it in C, I can always just count up the formulas. So if I know C is like this and C sus4 is like this, because I'm like, it's all white notes, I can just remember, then I just look, oh, it's only 1 up, 1 half step. Okay, so if I do it in A, just go up 1 half step. Okay, and that can help you remember. Okay, so A sus4 would be A, D, and E. Now the last one we have is sus, and if you see sus written on a chord chart, it just means A sus4. Okay, A sus4 is the most common one, so they just shortened it. If you see sus, it means the 4 one. Okay, now let's take a look here. I also have an example of E sus. Now, just to give us a little extra practice, let's do E sus2 and E sus4 and try that out. So E sus, we'd first need to find our major chord. So again, we'll follow our formula. Start on E, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. We end up with E, G sharp, and B. This is just our E chord. If I want to make it a 2, E sus2, I take the middle note and I go left 2, or just play the second note of my E major scale, which is F sharp, and I replace it. Okay, so E sus2 would be E, F sharp, and A. And then if I want to make an E sus4 instead, I would start with my E regular chord, and I would just move that middle note 1 half step up. So E sus4 would be E, A, and B. Okay, so again, if you need some help on sus chords, or if you need some help on your diminished chords, go back through the index. Now I've got it all categorized. Hopefully it'll be easier for you guys to find that. And we have multiple lessons throughout year 1 and year 2. We have over 65 lessons, all of them about an hour long at this point. So you can go and really get details on each of those sections. But for this lesson, we're just taking what we've learned and we are applying it to the key of D and then applying it into our song of the day. Okay? So let me take a look at the chat while you guys get set up with your first song here. All right, we've got Francine is here, Tom, DG, Massimo, Connie's here, Walter and Marilyn. Come on in, everybody. DG, say, how am I doing, teacher? Teacher's feeling much better. So I can actually kind of sing today, so that should help us to keep on track. And hopefully I can keep my train of thought today since I'm feeling a little bit better. All right, so our first song tonight, we're going to take a look at Glory, Glory in the key of D. Now this song is a good hand clapping, fun, subdivision, quick beat kind of song. Some people will call it a congregational song or a devotional song. And I'm going to show you guys a simplified version over here on chorus 1. And then I'm going to show you over here adding in some of the things that we've learned in previous lessons, such as our walk-ups, our walk-downs, our turnarounds, which we haven't played with in a little while. I thought it might be fun to dust those off and see how everyone's doing with their turnaround, and also the turnaround loop you can see in blue. Okay, so we're going to start. I'll play it for you so you can hear what it sounds like, and then we'll go through from easy to hard. We'll start with the right hand. We'll talk about our inversions, and then we'll add in our left hand bass lines. Okay, so this song, if you're not familiar with it, this is what it sounds like. I'll actually do chorus 2. I feel better, so much better, since I laid my burdens down. Oh, I feel better, so much better, since I laid my burdens down. You can see it's really peppy. This is a fun one. Okay, so we're going to go over the simple version, keeping steady beat, doing all the things that we've learned about so far, and we will also go through and do a little bit of a fancier version. Okay, so let's take a look at the intro. B minor 7, we talked about 7s last week. That's in year 2, lesson 24, if you want to look at your 7s. So we're going to start with B minor 7. We're going to use our B minor, okay, which is in our inversion chart. That was in year 2, lesson 21, if you want the D major inversion chart. It's just the easiest way to play B minor would be D, F sharp, and B. And then to add our 7, we find the root of our chord, which is B, and then we go down 2, and we add in that note, which is an A. So B minor 7, we have D, F sharp, A, and B. Okay, 2 of those. Then A7, so again, find your regular chord first, just the A major. So if I use my inversion chart from lesson 21, it's going to be C sharp, E, and A. And then to make it 7, we take our A, go left 2. Okay, and you end up with C sharp, E, G, and A. So that's 2 A7s, and then D, regular root position. Okay, chorus 1 starts with a slash. It's assuming that we are playing the chord of wherever we were last, which is D. So we're going to play a D, glory, and then just root position D again. Thank you. Nice and relaxed. Glory, hallelujah, D over F sharp. So F sharp on my left hand. Hallelujah, since I G. So pretty straightforward there. Just G, follow your inversion chart. G on the left hand. Laid, G sharp diminished. Okay, so this is our new one. Now, when we did it up above in our theory section, we had G sharp, B, D, and F. Okay, those are the notes if you want to write them down. G sharp, B, D, and F. Now, I was over here playing a G. So I'm going to think, what is the closest way that I can play G sharp diminished, so G sharp, B, D, and F, without moving my hands too much? Now, we already have the B and we already have the D, so that's a good hint that we might want to keep our outside fingers there and then add in the middle what we need. So we also need a G sharp and an F. Okay, so look here, my middle finger is on G, so all I'm going to do is scoot that up to G sharp. Okay, that would be the simplest way to play G sharp diminished. The F is optional. Okay, so if you're on G like this, take your root G, go up to the G sharp, and and that's going to create the G sharp diminished chord. If you want to make it a little extra fancy, add your F with your pointer finger. Okay, so again, that's G major, since I laid, and then moving the middle 2 fingers here. G sharp diminished my burdens, and then back to D. Okay, so looks scary on paper, but really in your hands, all you're doing, the easiest way is just move the G to the G sharp. Okay, and we always see that quite often is the 4th note of our scale. So the G, D, E, F sharp, G. The 4th note of our scale followed by that diminished chord, which makes the fingering really, really easy. Okay, so since I laid my burdens down. Okay, 3rd line. I feel better. Or no, wait. Sorry, I'm on glory, glory. 3rd line. Glory, glory. Hallelujah. D. A over C sharp. So A, that's on our inversion chart, and C sharp on the left hand. And then B minor. So I'm scooting everybody over to D, F sharp, and B. Since and I just put B minor normal. I didn't put the 7 at the beginning there because I wanted to let you find the B minor, because even that little walk down, some people, I know some of you are still doing that over and over and over, right? So the D, A over C sharp, B minor, and then on the 4th line you can add the 7. Give yourself a minute to think. Add in that 7. Since I laid. So remember, take your B, left 2. That gives you your 7 right there on the A. Okay. Laid. And then A7, which we did in the introduction. C sharp, E, G, and A. My burden's down. All right, so all I did for the intro was I just played the last line of the song, the B minor 7, A7, D. Okay? Whew. So some of you, that might be more than enough to chew on for 2 weeks. And don't feel bad, okay? That's normal. I know some of you are starting with us right from the beginning, and you're following this like a lesson, and this is enough to practice. That's good. Some of you have joined us and you've already played piano before and you want a little something extra. So we'll go through that on chorus 2, okay? But let's go through chorus 1 so you can hear it with the steady beat with the left hand, all right? So chorus 1. Glory, glory. So nice and slow. Hallelujah. Since I lay. Now left hand goes up to G sharp 2. My burden's down. Glory, glory. Hallelujah. Since I laid my burdens down. And then if you speed that up, that would sound nice. You could also add in subdivisions. So that just means every time your right hand plays a note, your left hand plays 2, like this. And this would give you an easy way to make it have that peppy sound. Glory, glory. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and since I laid my burdens down. Glory, glory. Hallelujah. Since I laid my burdens down. Now, a lot of my private students, when they first start playing that, I call it the subdivision, just literally playing in the subdivisions 1 and 2 and 3. But like, it sounds so robotic and like unnatural. And if you're playing it by yourself and there's nobody else with you, absolutely you can feel that way. However, I encourage you, if you are trying to play it in a church setting and like you are it, and you know, they don't have another piano player and you're it, if you have a drummer and you're playing that subdivision and the drummer's playing the beat with you, it will cover that robot feeling, and it will sound much nicer, and it will just sound exciting and happy, and not everyone won't notice the as much as you think they will. And another trick, a lot of my students, because it's right, the sound is coming right in your face, and they're like, it just sounds so different when you play it. It's because you're hearing all the different pieces coming up, literally, like physics coming to your face, and so it sounds different. If you put your phone somewhere a couple feet away and you record yourself and the sounds blend together by the time they get to the phone and you listen to it, you'll be pleasantly surprised. It does sound different. Okay, so a couple little tips there for you. Now let's take a look at chorus 2, where we want to make this a little bit exciting and add in some of our skills here. So we have different colors. The yellow means walk up, and again, if you download your musician's toolkit, you can see the simple charts with walk-ups. Also, lesson 22, year 2, lesson 22 has the D major walk-up charts. Okay, so if you are not super comfortable with changing keys yet, go to year 2, lesson 22, or is it 22? Yeah, year 2, lesson 22, and you can find all the D major walk-ups, but we'll go over those as well tonight. The green ones, or no, wait, sorry. Oh, we don't have any walk downs. Okay, orange would be walk down, but there's no walk downs. I was hoping to get a little bit of everything in this one. And then I have light blue. That's just showing us the turnaround loop. Okay, so we'll talk about that. And then these green ones here, there's groups of 4, 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth one's over here. This is our full turnaround. Okay, so let's take a look at our walk-up first, since that's a little bit more familiar. Again, if you go to your walk-up chart in year 2, lesson 22, you can see there's different options. The most basic one would be D, E, F, F sharp. So when you're doing a walk-up and you have 4 beats, all you need to do in any key, in any walk-up, skip the first note and then hit every note on the way up. So 1, 2, 3, and then by then you're on your chord, G major. Okay, so again, a D, skip 1, E, F, F sharp. That would be our walk up there. Okay, and of course there's different variations. We can go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and again, all these variations you can find on the chart. All right, so for tonight, for this first run through, I'll do option 1, which is just 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can see the counting. And then we'll go over the blue one here. This is a turnaround loop, or that's what we call it here in this series. And all it is this little part of our turnaround where it just kind of goes in a circle, which is why I called it a loop. Okay, so our notes here you can see down here, D, B, C, C sharp. And that's going to cover 2 full beats. 1 and 2 and. So it's 2 slashes or 2 letters. So here, that would be 1 and 2 and. Oops, that's 3 right there. 1 and 2 and. Okay? Now, since we have 2 more here, we would have to play the loop twice. So we would go 1 and 2 and, play it again, 3 and 4 and. So that's our 4 beats there. Okay? So let's try that so you can hear. I'll go real slow. I feel better. That's 1 loop. Do it again. So much. Okay, so that's the 4 blue slashes there. Okay, one more time. I feel better. So much. And then by then, I've landed on the yellow. Better. Okay. And then, so I'm going right into my walk up. So this is going to be a bit tricky. Again, I told you this is for students who've been playing for a while and you want to add something. So when we do our loop, we always start with our thumb. So we have room to reach down for our loop, right? But when we do our walk up, we're going to the right. So we're going to want to go D, E, F, F sharp. So let's look. That would be a very nice fingering. So we can land on the G. Okay, so what did I do there? I went, there's my loop. Okay, my thumb is going to start the walk up on D. This is my yellow D. I'm going to cross my 4th finger over. This is going to take some practice and some muscle memory. 4th finger, which gives me room to reach all the way up for my walk up. So middle finger on F, pointer finger on F sharp. That's the end of my yellow slash. And then my G is the word laid. Okay, so real slow. I feel better. These are subdivisions. So much. Here's our walk up. Better. Since and here's our G. Lay, G sharp. My burden's down. Okay, and then we have this walk down. All right. Let me know in the comments. Do you think you're going to try that this week? Is it terrifying, or is it like, yeah, we did that in C, we can do it in D too. It's the same patterns, same hand shapes, just we got the black notes mixed in there now, okay? All right, now let's go over turnaround. Turnaround sounds like this. All right. There's a slightly different version in your, what's it called? Musician's Toolkit. I just added in extra subdivisions for beginners, but you guys have been playing for a while now, so I think this should make sense. We're going 1 and 2 and then on the 3, we're just holding it. 3 and then on the 4, we're doing G over A. 4 and. So again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So a very simple way would be to play it all with your left hand, except the red one, where you play both hands. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right. Another way you could do it is play the D and the G over A with both hands. So the first part's a solo. 1 and 2 and together. 3 and 4 and. Okay, so I'm kind of showing you different levels here. And then the hardest way that you could do that is play the whole thing hands together. So these 4 here, these are not chords. These are single notes. So you could go D, B, C, C sharp, both hands, and then play D, the rest as you would normally. D chord, G over A chord. So that sounds like this. I guess, would you do the chord there? Let me see. I would probably just do the note because I'm looping around. D, B, C, C sharp, D, and then the chord. So that's another way, right? It's just the sound of it, right? How you decide to do it is up to you. So for tonight, I'm going to do the left hand, together, together. All right, when we're doing it. All right, so that's right here. So let's go through chorus 2, the first 2 lines. Looks super easy. There's only 2 lines, but you could practice this for 4 days and still be counting. And then just a reminder, I'm doing subdivisions here on the blue. I am not doing subdivisions on the yellow. I'm just counting 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm doing subdivisions again, some of them down here you see, on the green. Okay, so let's try that. I'll do the right hand together. The right hand is our steady beat. That's our, anytime you see a capital letter or a slash, my right hand is there for it. Okay, here we go. I feel better, so much, walk up better, since I laid my burdens 1 and 2 and 3 and I feel, give yourself a hand. All right, now I know conceptually some of you are like, I got it, but my fingers don't got it. So you might need to come back to this and just look at the fingering. Remember your finger numbers. You can write them above on your notes. I talk about that a lot. Print these things out. They are free. You can use them however you want. Share them with friends. Write on them. Put your finger numbers in. They're here to help you. Okay? Let's take a look at the third line of chorus 2. Again, we've got a loop. I feel better. Loop it again. So much. And then just regular chords. Better. One of each. Since I, B minor 7, just regular guy, laid. Now we have an A7 that's yellow. What does that mean? First of all, let's get our A7 in the right hand. Okay, that's just that the A7 is talking about the right hand. We don't worry about 7s on our left hand yet. We're just playing it on our right hand. And then the yellow part tells our left hand what to do, which is going to be walk up. So again, if we start on A, walking up, always skip your first note, and then play every note in order. So B, C, C sharp. Since I laid my burdens, like that. Laid my burdens. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 2 beats, okay? So we have to do subdivisions. So we have to go and. So together, and. So this one really is a challenge because of all the subdivisions, but it's what a lot of you were looking for, especially this time last year. We had so many questions about walking bass line, so I wanted to come back to it tonight and just take another peek at it. Again, this is more on the upper beginner, okay? So it's not early beginner, but I know some of you are really interested in that sound. Okay, so that would be a subdivision. If you're on the chart, okay, if you go back to lesson 21, 22, and you go to the chart, this one here is option 5. Okay, there's that red section that we highlighted saying, look at these chords, or these notes. It's only, if you have only 2 beats, use that. Okay, that's what I'm doing there. I'm just going 1 and 2 and. All right, and then we end with a nice little turnaround. Now, I have a bracket here because technically, if you're going to repeat it, that 4th chord is right here on the top. So go, since I laid my burdens, 1, 2, 3, I feel, and then you'd repeat it, so that 4th one is up here. Okay? Phew, let me know in the comments, how is everybody doing here? I'm going to go through it really, really slow, hands together, and then I'll show you how to do it how I did at the beginning, with all of the subdivisions added. Okay, so really slow, just the colors and just the chords. Let's do it. Chorus 2. I feel better, so much, walk up better, since I laid my burdens down, and 2 and 3 and I feel better, 3 and 4, so much better, since I laid my burdens down. Oh, I feel, and then it would repeat. Okay? Now, I know I can hear some of you already, and I'll say your names, but I don't want to embarrass you. My private students are watching this, and they're going, but that's not what you played at the beginning. You're right, it's not. I added in subdivisions everywhere. When you want that fast feeling, add subdivisions everywhere. So what I'm going to do on this G, I'm going to play subdivisions. I'm going to go 2 Gs. And then the slash, I'm going to do 2 more. G sharp, 2. Right? And I'm going to double everything that doesn't have a color. Okay? So anything that isn't already a fancy something or other, I'm going to make sure my left hand plays it twice. So like on the G, laid my burdens. Right? I'm just right hand. Or wait, I'll play the right burdens here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And my left hand is adding in all these stuff. Okay? The other thing I'm doing when I played it in the intro is I played for my walk-up, this one here, I probably did option 3. I can't remember exactly, but probably option 3. So if you're on your chart, and you're like, I want to play it like she did, play option 3 there. So let's do it with all of that in. So I'm going to add in my subdivisions. I'm going to change my walk-up to option 3, and you're going to hear how the whole thing goes up. Okay? Here we go. And then we're going to move on to a slow song so you can all have a breath. I feel better. So this is the same. So much option 3 better. Since I subdivision my burdens, turn around. Oh, I feel better. Loop stays the same. So much subdivided, since I subdivided, do my walk-up burdens, turn around. That's what I played. Okay? So let's hear that at speed, and then we'll move on to our next song. Here we go. I feel better. Sorry, gonna not add right hand stuff. I feel better, so much better, since I laid my burdens down. I feel better, so much better, since I laid my burdens down. Alright, so that's the clean version of what you see there with the subdivisions. Whenever I'm playing in general, I've been told we play with a swing, I think it's called. So that's why sometimes when I play it there, it sounds very professional. I feel better. But when I feel better, I'm playing playing my notes a little off the beat and things like that. Okay, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So that should give you lots to chew on today. That's Glory, Glory in the key of D. Let me know in the comments how you feel about that. Looks like Peg has joined us. Hi, Peg! And I see we have lots of people watching, not commenting. So if you want to comment and put your name up there, we'll shout out and say hello to you tonight. Now, I just thought of something as we were going through there. I did forget to show you something on the website. We keep adding to it, and we're going to keep adding to it. I have so many exciting things I'm trying not to tell you. But I added a section this week. It's on the top here, book a lesson. So we do have questions. Some people are asking, like, do you actually teach lessons, or is it just on YouTube? We do have lessons, so you can just go here. It talks about, like, how it's different. So we do have, I'm one of the teachers. I do have a couple of spots. And then we have other teachers who are trained in gospel music. It's month to month. You can pick what you want. If you want to do contemporary music, if you want to do hymns, if you want to do gospel like on here, you can pick. And then if you are interested and you want some more information, just give us your information here. I will call you personally, and we can chat about what you're looking for. Okay, so that's just on our website under Book a Lesson. And if you did want to do that, like I said, personally, I do teach a few hours a week, and I do have a couple of spots. We have 2 spots in our intermediate class right now. So that's if you want to go even farther than what we're doing here. In last week, we had even started talking about extensions, and we do all different keys and all stuff. And then I have I think I have 6 beginner spots opening up in March. Okay, and then again, if you want private lessons or information on that, we have lots of other teachers that do other instruments as well. Okay, so that's the lesson program. But of course, the YouTube channel, it's free. It'll always be free. And if you go under free resources, all of those PDFs are absolutely free of charge, and you can enjoy them and come along with us. Okay, so we're going to take a peek at our next song. This is Wait on the Lord. Again, I've had a few requests for contemporary music, and I'm listening, so I'm going to start sneaking them in. And it works really good with our sus chords. That's what I usually don't use them, because we had been focusing so much on the walk-ups and walk-downs and turnarounds and things last year. So now that we've got the sus chords, it gives us a little excuse to sneak these contemporary songs in. And this one, again, if you want to Google it on YouTube, it's by James Wilson. And I'll just play... let me play you the verse and the chorus just so you can get a feel for it, and then we'll go through piece by piece. Again, inversions, we'll do all that stuff. Then, how's this go? Gotta remember the tune now. I can't remember the tune. What? There's the chorus. No, I'm in the wrong key. Sorry, guys. I can't think. I have it kind of there. That Jesus can't resolve. There it is. Okay. There's not a mountain too tall. There's not a problem so small that Jesus can't resolve. In time he'll get involved. Our God, he cares about us. And then we'll do the chorus. So wait on the Lord. Wait on the Lord. Wait on the Lord. And he'll renew your strength. Okay? So it's like a soft, contemporary sound, and they get into it. I mean, if you watch the video, they're like singing and echoing each other and doing all kinds of stuff. But that's the basic version of it. As you know, whenever I give you guys these ones, this is what I would play as a beginner. I just find like the chords that match what we are learning. If you want to do the actual chord charts, of course, go look up the artist, buy their chord chart. They've got all kinds of stuff in there. But this is definitely a playable version. I have all the little chunks, so I don't have, you'll see if you're looking for contemporary, a lot of people are like, well, what are they playing here in the middle part here? I have this as like a church version, okay? So if you want to play it in church, this is what you could play. So there's interludes and things where they're playing and the guy's talking and all that stuff, right? So that's not in here. I have the pieces, so you can mix and match how you want to play it, okay? So we're going to start with the verse. We have F sharp minor. That looks so scary. Now let me find that note, so I'm not doing that again. Wait on the Lord. There. A, okay. There's not a mountain too tall. Okay, that way when I can go back and repeat it for you guys, I'll know the note this time, okay? So here we go, F sharp minor. So if we look on our inversion chart from lesson 21, we'll know it's C sharp, F sharp, and A. But on a weird one, I don't want to say a weird one, on one that looks scary for beginners, like this, let's go over it just so we can understand how we're getting that. So F sharp, minor chord, our formula is 3 and 4. Okay, so we're going to play 3 half steps followed by 4 half steps. So we have F sharp, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 to get F sharp minor. So F sharp, A, and C sharp. Now if we're playing in D as our home base, you know, if we played a D major chord, we already have the F sharp and A there, so let's just put our C sharp down here. So we can just move our thumb and we're on F sharp minor, okay? So we're going to start with that. There's not. Then we have an E on the right hand. Now this one, yeah, let's do root position. We're going to do root position. I'm just thinking the easiest movements. I do have students ask me, like, well, what is the right answer? Like, is there like a right way to play that chord? Like, which inversion is the right way? And I get that question all the time. And there's a few different answers. Technically, no. Okay, there's not a right way. If you see a chord chart like this and you're just playing it, but you want to be considerate of hand motions and hand movements. Okay, if you're not playing melody, like if you're just playing background music like we are and the singers are dealing with all that, just think about which chord you're on now and what's the easiest way, the smoothest way to get to the next chord. So that's why I kind of tried it. I was like, we could do E like this, we could do E like this, right? As long as you have E, G sharp, and B. And I think for you as beginners, this would probably be easier. Actually, let me show you both ways, and you guys can decide. There's benefits to both. Okay, so we'll do root position first. So F sharp minor. If we go to E root position, okay, we're just kind of like sliding to the right like that. So it's visually easier to get there as a beginner. But then when we get to the A, we have to jump again to get back here. And the sus is like that. Okay, so for here on the E, and we need A sus. So if we see A sus, we know that's A sus 4. So we would find our A, regular, how we would do it in our inversion chart. And then we find the third note of our chord, which is C sharp. Okay, if we were playing it in root position, it'd be the one in the middle. So C sharp. And we're going to move it 1 to the right to the 4th note of the scale, which is D. So A sus 4 is D, E, and A. So we have to go from E major to here, which might make sense because it's very clear to see. Some people might find that hard because you have to move all the fingers again. Okay, but that's our A sus. And then to get to our A, all you do is move your thumb back to the C sharp, make them back to normal, to A. Okay, so here's option number 1 for this, and I think this is the only one where it's got a couple different options. So we've got there's not a mountain too tall. Okay, that would be option 1 for fingering. And again, remember your finger numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can write down your chord letters and your numbers so that you're practicing it the same every time. The other option, which is pretty valid, is F sharp minor, and then if you wanted to play E, you could do it like this, where you have the E on your pointer, 4th finger plays the G sharp, and your thumb slides down to the B, which feels crazy a little bit. But it does make it a little bit smoother to get to the A sus because you're already playing the E here. Your pinky's already by the A ready to go, and then you slide your thumb up. So then that transition is a little bit easier. So like I said, there's not a right or wrong answer. It's just what's more comfortable. Okay, so I'm going to do it the first way for today, just to keep going through. And let me know in the comments how things are going. Which one do you think would work for you? Okay, so let's try verse 1, and we'll keep going. There's not a mountain too tall. D major. There's not a problem so. And then we've got E sus2. So let's find our E. And we're going to take our our middle one, go left 2 to get E sus2. E, F sharp, and B. Small. And then E. Back to the D major. That Jesus, A, can't resolve. And this is I'm just following the inversion chart. The ones that are there. F sharp minor again. In time he'll, and then E major, let's go to root position. Get involved. D root position again. Our God, he, E sus. So let's go find our E. E sus doesn't have a number, means it's E sus4. So go take your middle one, go up by 1. Brings us to the 4th note of the scale. Cares and then right away, 1 beat of that, we go to the E root position. About. So cares about. There's 1 of each. And then A sus and A. I was just giving you guys lots to practice. If you Google this, there's not this many sus's. Okay, I just wanted to give you some to practice. So A sus again, that's the D, E, and A. And then to make it an A major regular, we go to the C sharp. Okay, so let's do that with our left hand together. Sorry, just give me 1 second, guys. If you can try that out. And okay, let's try it both hands. There's not root position. Mountain too tall. There's not a problem so small. E sus 2. There's our 2. Small. Back to normal. That Jesus can't resolve. F sharp minor. In time he'll get involved. D. He, our God, he, E sus, E, A sus, A. So pretty. Now, if we can do verse 1, we can do chorus, because verse 1 is actually a little bit harder. Okay, let's go to the chorus. D major. So the root position. Wait on the A sus. We already did that one. D, E, and A. Lord. Resolve it to the A. F sharp minor. Regular position. Wait on the Lord. E sus. Oh, sorry, that's E sus2. E sus. So that's we find our E. We'll go up to, move our middle finger up. That's E sus4. Lord. And then regular E. Wait on the Lord. A sus. A. And B minor 7. So that's our B minor with the A added in. He'll renew. That's our E sus2. I tried to do both so you could practice them. Renew your regular E. And then strength D. Root position. Okay? Now the bridge, this is like most of the song in the recording. So they take 2 lines at a time and they really flesh it out. So they take these 2 lines and they just sing it over and over and over, and then the like I said, they're echoing and doing stuff. So I'm just gonna sing the actual like choir part so that it follows our beat, And then, so if you're listening to it and you're like, there's so many extra words in the recording, it's because he's talking over top, or the lady is talking over top. But this is the main beat in the background, okay? And then these two here, they do it as a separate bridge again, and then this is another separate bridge. So I'm just going to play it for you guys. Like I said, I'm giving you the pieces. So if you do play it in church, for example, or you're playing it in a group, you guys can take it and, you know, repeat that 8 times or repeat that 4 times and then go back to the chorus and then go to the bridge again. Like, you can kind of play around with it. But this is all the pieces, okay? So this here, this is a slash, and that's going to be a D because it's coming from the chorus. Okay, so this is D, and it goes, 'cause he's ordering. Lots of D's. So this is actually easier again. F sharp minor, ordering your E major steps. You've got to wait. Lots of D's again. You've got to wait. Okay, so you'll notice there's a pattern. D, D, F sharp minor, and E. All of this is repeating over and over. If you want a nice interlude somewhere in the song where you want to catch your breath, that might be a good interlude. D, D, F sharp minor, E. 4 beats of each one, like right here. Whop. Okay, like that. And that's all it is. It just repeats itself, okay? So I'm going to start from the beginning again. I'll go all the way through, and you can see how they kind of blend together. He's ordering. He's ordering your steps. You've got to wait. You've got to wait. I'll keep going. I'm gonna wait on you, Jesus. I'm gonna wait on you, Jesus. I'm gonna wait on you, Jesus. And they're saying all kinds of stuff. I'm gonna wait on you, Jesus. I'm not turning back now. 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 Okay? And like I said, they repeat all those all kinds of places, okay? Now, I'm playing it real simple, but you could add your octaves. He's ordering with a bounce. He's ordering your bounce steps. You've got to bounce with. See how that it makes it feel fuller? You've got to wait. Make your bounces more frequent. I'm gonna wait on you, geez, bounce. I'm gonna bounce. Bounce. I'm trying to do both sounds. But you can start, do the bounce every 4 beats. And then as you get excited, add your bounce every 2 beats. And again, if you need the bounce, that's lesson 18 on year 1, or you can grab your toolkit. That's just where we're adding an extra little beat on the left hand here. I'm gonna wait on you, Jesus. 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 And then maybe bring your right hand up. I'm turning back now. I'm not turning back now. I'm just playing D in different places. I'm not turning back now. Up higher. I'm not turning back now. Right? And you can build it up. Add subdivisions. I'm not turning. Let's do the last 2 lines. I'm not turning back now. I'm not turning back now. I'm not turning back now. Let's add subdivisions. I'm not 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, right? And then it's got, there we go. I was so excited. Okay? And then you can, okay, so here, let's do subdivisions. We'll keep looping that. Right now, I'm not turning back now. Go back to your bounce. I'm not turning back now. I'm not turning back now. Let's say you want to go back to the chorus. So bring it down. So wait on the Lord. Right? And you can go back. So in the recording, I believe they just stay on the bridge and they go everywhere. But you don't have to stay there. You've got 4 beats here. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the end. Sorry, I highlighted the wrong thing. Right here at the end here. And so you could go 1, 2, 3, and then instead of looping back up to the top, you could do 4, finish your 4th beat here, add an extra one, and then go back up here, because then you've got a group of 4, right? So let's try that again. I don't know why that won't go away. Technology. There we go. Okay, so let's do the last 2 lines of the bridge. We'll bring it down and pretend like we want to go back to the chorus. What are we going to do? Just always make sure you have the right amount of group. So if you've got here 4/4 time, you're going to make sure that you always have a group of 4. You don't want to do 3 E's and then go back to the chorus. It's going to feel weird. Okay, so let's do the last 2 lines of the bridge. I'm not turning back now. Just do a little bounce. I'm not turning back now. I'm not turning back now. I'm not turning back now. So wait on the Lord. I've added the bounce. So wait on the Lord. Oh, wait on the Lord. And He'll renew your strength. Okay, what if I want to go to a verse? What do I need to do? So I have 3 beats here. Oh, right, because then the 4th one is down at the bridge. But let's say we're playing it our own way and we want to go to a verse after the chorus. We only have 3. We'll check our verse. It looks like we have groups of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see 2 and 2, so that's a good sign. They're friends. Okay, so then just why don't we add an extra slash over here and we'll try to go into a verse. Okay, so, and He'll renew, end of your chorus, your strength. 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4, verse 2. There's not a night too dark, a journey too long to embark. Jesus will see you through. In time He'll make you new. Our God, He cares. Oh, sorry. Jesus cares about us. And then you could go back to the chorus, okay? So that gives you an idea. Let me know in the comments. I know quite a few people have mentioned this one in requests and things, so hopefully a few of you know it. And then you can use that concept, though. If you find one without slashes, like say it doesn't have slashes anyway, you've Googled it, right? Always try to feel the pulse, keep your steady beat, and then if you're moving to and from, you know, verse, chorus, bridge, just make sure you're always having the same group. 4, or if you're in 3, sometimes they go 1, 2, 3. Make sure you always have your groups, okay? And we can do more questions on that. I know some of you have questions about if I find one and it doesn't have slashes. So let me know in the comments if you guys want another video on that. We can do another practice one where we do it together. And like, because I've made this. If you Google it, it's not gonna have slashes, and it's probably gonna have different chords. But I'll show you guys how to do that if you'd like to do another video. Okay, so that's our 2 songs for the night. Again, don't forget, if you're looking for these recordings, they are the PDFs. They are no longer on the group. You do need to go over to our website. Everything is in one place now. Free resources. You can go in and download everything for free. We've got indexes, table of contents, musician's toolkit. We've got all of the lessons, over 65 hours worth of material here. And then if you want to have a lesson with me or one of our teachers, if you want to get some feedback and get some real, you know, on Zoom lessons, just go over to book a lesson. Like I said, I have a couple spots left, and we do have awesome teachers with all different instruments if that's something that you're looking for as well. All right, so have a great night, everybody, and we will see you next week. We are going to be starting a new key next week, so make sure you stay tuned for that, and we'll have, of course, all of the theory pages at the beginning. We'll show you the new scale, we'll show you the new chords, and then we'll have 2 songs to try that out next week. All right, have an awesome night, everybody, and I will see you guys next week. Good night. Next week. Good night.